Splatfest World Premiere has finally come to an end in all regions. We got a lot of time to test out weapons, specials, subs, and all the maps. Overall, it was a lot of fun to play. However, there's always a couple things that aren't perfect. For this video, I decided to compile some of my thoughts and takes from both me and from what I've seen being said on social media. Of course, all these changes are just my opinion, and my opinion isn't above everyone else's, but I still think it's useful to provide ideas to spark discussion. If you have any ideas yourself, feel free to drop them in the comments as well. With that aside, let's get on to my changes. Now, from what I've thought about, it seems we're looking at a lot more special changes overall. So I'll be going over those first, starting with Tacticooler. Many clips of this special have been making the rounds on Twitter for how crazy it is. Its first most important change in my opinion would be its health, which at the moment is invincible, which allows for many broken spots to be completely unreachable against people shooting at you. The fact that you can use it as some protection isn't that bad in my opinion, but the strategy should be fixed. So the best way to fix this in my opinion would be giving it a health limit, something that can tank a good amount but still be breakable. I think that would be around 400 health points. And on top of this, if it does break, I think the remaining drinks should still drop on the ground so that teammates can pick them up. These changes would make sure that it can't abuse invincibility in certain parts of the map, but it would still give it a little health to help in certain interactions. The second change Tacticooler needs in my opinion would be its special saving feature. If you get spotted with the full special while having Tacticooler's effect active, you save your entire special after respawning. This in my opinion is slightly overkill, and I think it should be toned down slightly to around 80% of your special. Just enough to avoid people instantly lashing out their specials after jumping back in. As for the quick respawn effect, I hear a lot of people saying that it's really overpowered to respawn in 1 second, but in my opinion I don't think it's so bad. I think that changing anything beyond the special save would be kind of too much, but if it comes to it, it shouldn't be increased by any more than a second. As for the movement effects it gives, I think they're perfectly fine as it is, and they help the special a lot. Now the second special I want to go over is Wail 5.1. In my time using it, I found it a bit underwhelming to use. The special can only be selected on a single person, and I find that it still doesn't even track them reliably. In most parts of the map, I find I'm able to consistently jump or squid roll over it, and it fails to track me for very long either. To fix this, I think they should maybe make the tracking faster to catch people swimming away, and also make it last slightly longer at its base form. I think this would help it get better at catching people swimming away more consistently, and is pretty necessary to help the special in my opinion. I've also kind of seen it start moving around a bit crazy for some reason a few times. I don't know if this is something they can fix in any way or why it happens in the first place, but I think it's also worth mentioning. Now this next special was already infamous for being pretty wonky in Splatoon 2, and that special is Ultra Stamp, which from what I've tested is yet again underwhelming in this game. When playing it and watching clips, there are a lot of instances where you think it would kill but it won't. The best solution to this in my opinion is increasing its one-hit kill radius slightly. This will prevent all those hits you thought would kill but end up doing 40 damage, then they just end up shooting you from behind. One more change it needs is fixing its vulnerability. Some weapons that shoot fast enough can simply shoot right through the timer hammers in the air. To fix this, they can make the hammer hitbox slightly bigger so they can land less shots on you. Overall, these changes would help prevent people who are clearly within close proximity of you from simply running away or shooting at you directly in your vulnerable frames. Alright, now on to the first main weapon for this video, that being Tri-Stringer. I wouldn't say that Tri-Stringer is supposed to be a painting weapon, of course seeing how similar it is to a charger. It makes sense that it's for long range kills, but the tap shot is just awful. Now there is a solution to this in game already, which is just to do one tap shot in front of you and one on the ground, which works kind of well for painting, but I don't think it deserves to be less mobile and needing to do this. I think that a good change would be to give non-charged shots in front of you slightly more paint on its feet, to help you move around a bit better. And secondly, I have no idea why they didn't do this, but make Stringer be able to hold the charge shot, just like chargers. Not being able to hold charges makes it, yet again, less mobile, and adding a charge would help a lot. While playing it, I don't think it needs anything else particular as a buff, it just seems to be a weapon with a very high skill ceiling, but I do think these little changes would help it a lot. Now for our next change, remove point sensor from the game. In all seriousness, there could actually be some solutions for it. I actually discovered this one from ProChara on Twitter, so thanks to him for the idea. The idea would be that point sensor can now show the main weapon and special charge of the opponent being tracked, to help gather extra intel compared to angle shooter. Now I don't know how this would integrate in game, but I think they could put a small charge bar and weapon icon right above the player being tracked. This would give the sub a bit more utility and not make it completely outclassed by angle shooter. Now lastly, I wanted to mention all of the main power-up weapons that are kind of losing their peak from Splatoon 2. The main one for me seems to be Dynamo Roller. Main power-up really helped a lot of its struggles in Splatoon 2, but now it often feels like you can't kill with it very well. It's possible that they can improve the far fall-off hits from horizontal and vertical flicks to help kill from farther distances. I think that the one-hit kill range should stay the same though, as to not overcompensate for not having MPU. And not having MPU anyways gives the weapon the chance to use some new abilities. Some other MPU weapons might need some other buffs to help them out, but I'm not completely sure what I'd do with them yet personally, so if you main those weapons, feel free to leave your ideas in the comments. Next up we have Angle Shooter, which I think needs a few changes. I think that the line itself deserves to do some damage. I think that around 20 damage should be good. This could kind of trap people's movement and get them to where you want to be more often. I think that the damage it deals from the direct hit is reasonable, so no changes there. One last change I'd make would be giving the angle shooter a little puddle of ink when you throw it, just to have a little place to recover ink in certain situations. There you have it. Those are all my changes I would make to the specials and weapons of Splatoon 3. Let me know if you agree with them or not, and what other changes you would make yourself. I had so much fun playing the Splatfest World Premiere this weekend, and I hope you all did too. There were so many cool clips I saw, and it seems like we all had a very fun time. Overall, there's very little crazy broken stuff in Splatoon 3 so far. We haven't tested everything, and it's never going to be perfect, but everything I've played and tested so far seems quite balanced, and I'm very happy with that. Anyways, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and follow my socials below. I'll see you all later.